Welcome to the Social Propertypreneur Podcast. And here is your host, social media queen, property investor, and entrepreneur, Laura Muse.
Hi everybody, welcome to Social Propertypreneur Podcast. Today I've got an amazing lady who I've known for just over 12 months. I met her at a business event in Sheffield. She has got multiple streams of income to her business and she generates over 6 figures from doing this. So today she's going to share with you what she's done in her business and how we can utilise that too. So I'm going to introduce the lovely Louisa Ashforth.
Oh, thanks, Laura. Well, obviously, I've got a beauty salon, which I've had for 18 years, which is what I always call my bread and butter. That's where I've got a lot of my clients from, my client base. But obviously, you can't just rely on one business these days. One thing I have learned is that you've got to get multiple revenues. So I decided to utilise my salon and work out what I could do relevant to the salon, but create another stream of income. So as you know, I've got my own skincare range, which I developed from scratch. So that's launched nationwide and I can actually say abroad as well, because it's in the EU. So it's in. Well, you've got some really big stars that use your skincare. Yeah, I have got quite a few celebrities that I've connected with that do use it. So, pressure, I can't even think of people now. But yeah, people like Alex Best, Callum's used it as well, Callum Best. Got loads of people from Hollyoaks that use it. I'm a big fan, it's my guilty pleasure. So any other Hollyoaks fans out there? The list is endless, there's loads, and obviously Kerry Ellis, who is a West End star, who tours with Brian May, just to say that, because she's just amazing. And so she's our brand ambassador. So we've got a lot of connections as well, which I think, obviously I've done that through social media, which is really important to keep those connections. And then the other business that I've got is the training academy side. So as you know, I've systemised my salon, so it works with or without me. Staff know exactly what they're doing. There's a procedures manual, so I now sort of spend time helping other salon owners do that as well and create a business that works for them, because at the end of the day we went into it with a passion, not necessarily thinking about the business side. So you go into it because you like doing the treatments. I think a lot of people do that. Yeah, I think so. I think that's how we get into it, because you do something, you think, I love this, I'll just do it for myself, and then you do it. And then don't mind all that goes with it, like, the HR side when you get staff to help, or the HMRC side when you have to work all that out. Like a minefield. But yeah, definitely recommend multiple streams of income, especially at a time like this, because obviously my salon is completely closed and there is nothing except for keeping in touch with people on social media, text messaging. Obviously we can't do anything, so there's no income coming in there. So thank heavens for the other side that I've taken online. So going back to the start a little bit. So obviously you set up your salon. What was the point where you thought I needed to do more for this to be sustainable going forward? Because there must have been some kind of trigger or something that maybe happened, or a situation. Because obviously in your industry there isn't, I would say you are the minority doing what you're doing. So at what point did that you think I've got to kind of broaden what I'm doing here and have different revenue streams coming in? I think you just get to a point where I started my salon at 22 and I'm a very energetic person, loads of energy, all, full steam ahead. But I know it sounds stupid, but then I just think you can't sustain that forever, working 12 hours a day, treatment after treatment, client after client. I mean, I've got such a good relationship with my clients. I've got so many adopted mums. I love them. They're brilliant. But, I started to feel really tired. I know that sounds so dramatic, but because you're trying to work on the business and then it's getting busier and everything just gets on top of you. And before you know it, all you're doing is work, eat, sleep. And I think you just get to a point where it's quite, I know it sounds, again, dramatic, it's quite depressive. I think you've got to, and then something just hit me and thought, Louisa, you've just got to do something. You've got to make a change. And the more I just kept thinking, I've got to make this change. Obviously, no one taught me how to run a business. I didn't know what to do. But you start to, I don't know, network, join different events, go to different events, meet different business owners. And, you know, there are ways to simplify it. And then I started getting staff, started thinking that was a minefield, but actually it wasn't half as difficult as I thought. But I'd built it up in my head so much that I'd put it off and put it off and put it off. But actually getting them has just made my life, obviously it comes with its negatives, I'm not saying that. Of course it does. But it has been the best thing ever as well, because I've got that support. So yeah, I just think you just get to a point where you just think something's got to change. I need to add different, you know, I can't rely on this income forever, because what if I couldn't do the job? Because it's literally exchanging time for money all the time. And I kept thinking, I need to find something that is not totally just exchanging time for money. I've got to have something else.
So what was the first asset you decided? How did that come around?
Well, I decided to... I've always been passionate about skincare. So I thought, for years, I've wanted to create my own skincare. And then I thought, how can I do it? I'm just a beauty therapist. But there is a way to do everything if you find the right way. So just connecting with the right people, got a couple of products. Obviously, like I said, I've got such a good relationship with my clients, tested it all out on them, bless them. And lots of guinea pigs. And they gave me loads of feedback and really valuable feedback. And it's just that time when you've got to take it on the chin. Do you know, like, even if it is negative, it's not personal. You've got to take that criticism or constructive to move on in the field and get further on. So the range then just expanded. And my plan was only to do it in the salon so that then my clients could buy it. They could have good skincare at a much cheaper price. But it was my clients that sort of said, Louisa, you've just got to take this further afield. It's so good. So I started to think, well, what can I do? And then I thought of trade shows that I go to as a salon owner. And then I did take it to some trade show in Manchester. And it was a success straight away. Obviously a small fish in a massive pond. You can't let that bother you. You just got to go for it. And so I did. So that was probably like my first major thing. If we want to...
So it was a physical product
so that I could just take time for money. If you want to backtrack a little bit further, which I haven't mentioned this because it's not there now, I did decide to buy my own premises to run my salon from. So I thought, dead money. So that was probably my first actual big asset with regard to my business. But then I sold that and then invested some of the money into by selling that, it enabled me to do like a lot with the skincare. So that's where I kind of got the funds from.
You consolidated an asset so you could obviously push forward with your business and create physical money generating products. So the first thing was your products. And obviously, I mean, I use your skincare, I love it, and I've got really problematic skin. I know many other people do. You've got some great advocates for your products. After your first physical product, what was next, and what was the kind of thought process behind that?
So again, like I said, I've systemized my salon because I just thought it's frustrating when you want everything running your way. And a lot of business owners, I think, are, if they admitted it, like me, we are control freaks and like everything our way. And especially when it's a salon, because it's a service-based industry and it's all about people. So you've got to greet people in the right way and stuff. So I kind of wanted to really hammer down on getting people, like, systems in place so that people were treated how I wanted them treating, and everybody was getting the same, whether it was me that was their therapist or one of my staff. And because people buy into you, so they want you to do the treatment, because, you know, I always say only about 20% of what you do is actually your job. The rest of it is you. So people are buying into you and like you. So, you know, you've got to, so basically I systemized it, created some procedures. And if I'm being honest, at first, it was something I put off for about 2 years. And then I kept thinking, this is the right ball ache. Sorry, but... But you know, when I started it, it's actually not even that hard. It was just basically, what's your opening up procedure? Oh, I open the door, push the handle down and open the door. And you list it literally step-by-step guide. And then if you can do that for everything you do within your business, that then, a friend joked with me, she said, you know what, you could sell that. And I thought, don't be stupid. But then obviously that's sowed the seed. And entrepreneurs, you know, business owners that we do, the brain started going again. And I thought, hang on a minute, is this an asset as well? So then I started to, you know, people were asking me, oh, Louisa, what can I do in my business like yours? And I was telling people, like friends. And then I thought, hang on a minute, I could have just got paid for that. So that's then now expanded into, I've got a membership website where I've got loads of online training courses to help run businesses or run your business. So although mine's very specific and very niche to beauty, you can link them to so many different businesses. You know, time management is time management at the end of the day. It's just some of the systems that I recommend, obviously, are
not my strong point.
Is it any business owner? Is it any of our strong points? Because we just want to get everything done, don't we? And it's like 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've got the membership site, which has got loads of online courses to do. And yeah, it just helps.
Can you just deep dive into that? So for people that don't know what a membership site is, kind of how you set it up, how much you charge, what's included for that, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine. So basically, obviously, like I said, this started off as one systems manual, a procedures manual that I was sort of just, I started, I suppose I've got a fourth avenue really, because I do a bit of a mentorship as well. So I started mentoring salon owners to get their staffing efficient, because obviously, like we've said previously, we all want to, you know, jump 100 steps forward. So we just want to have our salon busy, have our businesses busy, and get the money in and generate the income. So we're not focused on the initial stage, which is the system, like getting stuff in place. And I did that as well for probably 15 years. And I think, gosh, if I'd have just done this now, or started my business like I did now, I'd be so much further on. So I think people can learn from your mistakes, but we've also got to learn from our own, haven't we? So, so sorry, back to what you were saying. Basically, I've broken down that systems manual so that I've done like a section all the time on this website. So I've created a website, and then you can basically you can sign on as a guest and pay a monthly membership fee where you get all of the courses. You get access to so many different courses, blogs, podcasts, just stuff to help you keep positive, keep motivated. And you've also got that guidance there. So it's like an accountability program, but online. Yeah. So obviously you've got to have everything set up in the back systems, which clearly I did not do myself. I did get someone to set up the membership site for me. Very intense. There's loads of work that went into it, as in like getting all the I've created loads of manuals, so it basically guides you through. So they're almost like mini lessons. So you can read your lesson, and then you get, you know, like a quiz at the end of it to make sure that you've like taken in that knowledge. And then it's showing you different ways how you can try and take that information and implement that into your business. So even though, like I said, it is specifically to salon owners is the idea of my site, I do think it will be expanding soon to more business owners, because it doesn't have to be for just salons. Everybody needs
the principle's the same.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, so it's difficult to set up. It's very complex, but it doesn't have to be difficult. Once, if you can learn from somebody else, you can just take their ideas and don't reinvent the wheel. Just kind of do what they've done.
Well, it is. Why fix what's not broken? So
exactly.
Do you mind me asking, kind of, how much you charge a month? Like, what's the kind of going rate, so to speak, of a membership site?
I think it varies. Like, I know membership sites that are up to sort of like £50 a month, but obviously mine's quite new, so I charge $29.99 at the minute. $29.99, and I've done an introductory rate for initial members at £15 a month, just while I'm sort of growing it a little bit more and adding more and more information and more value to the site. So I think if people joined now, they get so much value, but obviously going down the line, the more things that are on there, you can justify upping the price, because basically it's like a mentorship program but online, and although you don't have a person, you've got so much valuable content there to work from. And then you do also have like the team behind the site that you can email whenever you like. So you have got access to a lot for that amount of money. So if anybody was thinking of doing a membership site, I'd happily, give them any information, help them. But I always just think, don't sell yourself too short. Make sure people know that they are getting an introductory rate, because you are going to be giving so much value on that site. And if you were paying a mentor to mentor you, you're looking at a minimum of £500 a month for probably just an hour of their time, really. So if you've got that all online, you've got so much available at your fingertips, and you can still make contact via email. So there's a lot there. So I just think that you've just got to be aware of how much value you are giving away if you did do a membership site, and just don't sell yourself short.
And on obviously addition to that, so we've obviously got a physical product that you sell, which is your skincare range. We've got the membership site. Obviously, you do mentoring. So where did that slot in? Did that come before the membership site, or is that something recent? And how do you structure that? So do you have levels of mentoring? Is it kind of, obviously not at the moment, one-to-one, or is it in a group session? How does that work?
It kind of came about the same time as the site, if I'm being honest. I started off as a Facebook group, just, getting people all in one group together, just like-minded people, all salon owners, and I was just giving away information, and I found that actually people were getting a lot out of it, but people were contacting me saying, have you got a website? So I felt like I needed to get that website up and running, which, to be honest, the website wasn't really part of the plan. That actually came on the back of other people. So the group kind of started me already just mentoring people. But so then they were paying me a monthly fee for just basically just a Zoom call. So we'd have a chat online, find out where they were at, do like a bit of a business assessment initially. So find out what their I hate strengths and weaknesses, but like what's working for them and what's not. So where they're at in the business, really, how many staff they've got, and just instantly thinking what things they can put in place. And by doing that strategy call, that's where the mentorship kind of comes from then.
Right, okay.
Because then they're saying, well, how can I do that? And how can I do that? So we need to then take them back to the beginning, like I said before, and really then deep dive into the business, assess the business, all different sections. So it's not just about how much money your business is making. It's about you as well, and your mindset, and making sure that you have got a solid mindset so that you can 100% focus on what you need to do. Because especially when like things like this happen in the world, what's happening now, if you didn't have a strong mindset, everything just falls apart, and you fall 100%. Apart, which is understandable because it's a crazy time, but it's business at the end of the day, and we've got to just plow on and keep going. I sound a bit heartless there, don't I? But you know what I mean.
No, it's reality.
Yeah. So the mentorship program just kind of slotted in. If I'm being honest, it was really bad. It wasn't really part of a plan. It just kind of came on the back of this Facebook group. So I started charging just £100 a call. So we did do a Zoom call for £100, and then obviously people start wanting more out of it. So. Then I started doing another level. So then there's a £500 mentorship, where it's one-to-one, and we do 2 calls a month because there's a lot that we need to get through. So we'll use a manual that we're working through. So whatever it is that they need work on, so it might be their social media, it might be their HR. I provide all contracts, job descriptions, so that everybody knows where they should be at within their business. So there's a lot that goes into it. And then another level, which is £1,000 a month, and basically, again, that is a lot more me hands-on, helping them structure things better, making sure they've got, I'll do a lot of research for them, just because I want them to succeed and I want them to get the most out of it. So there's a lot that's involved, and in the £1,000 membership, we do keep in contact quite a lot and just make sure that it's running as smoothly as possible. I probably get a bit too involved just because I just take it on like it's my own, But that's just me for you. You're going to get a lot for your money.
But people have got some really good results. I mean, you've got some great reviews on your website and on your Facebook page. So what's next for you?
Oh, gosh. I don't know, Jo. I just want to grow the membership site because I'm loving how much people are getting out of it. So I want to really give as much content as I can on there. And obviously I want to, feel justified in charging that extra amount as well, because like I said, I am giving so much value away and I want to continue doing that. So I need to do a lot more content, a lot more videos, and just get a lot more hands-on with people and get all the strategy calls. So I think I want to expand that side of the business a lot more and maybe get the salon managed, if I dare say that. So that's completely a sideline. And then focus on the skincare, get more salons on board because it's stocked in quite a few salons around the country, and obviously they use it within their treatments. So I'd like to really expand that side of the business as well. So expansion, I think, is the word I've just used a lot there, isn't it? So expanding everything.
So just to summarise, obviously you have your initial business, your primary business, and you created multiple streams of income from that original idea business, which is a physical product. You've obviously got your online membership site, and you've also got courses that you go alongside that, so you don't have to just be in the online membership to do the course. You've got a separate option where people can just physically buy the courses outright.
The course.
And then fourth, you've got mentoring, so the one-to-one program that you run at 3 different levels. Would you say, in summary, I've hit it there, or?
I will say you have, although I've just realised I think I've missed one out myself, because on the back of these, basically I do host the workshops in person, but it is as a group. So I've got obviously my headquarters in my salon. I've got a training room in there, and we do group work where people can actually physically come to Sheffield, and I do actually have a place I use as well, but obviously not at the minute, but in Barnsley. So there's a training academy there as well, and I do host the workshops in person as well. So that's another option, just to add another one there as well. But don't know where I find the time. But obviously that's why it's come online, because I'm so glad it has, because in this situation I can't host those workshops in person. So thank goodness for Zoom that we can do so much with it.
So for anyone who's watching who potentially is an investor or a property investor or is a business owner and has got that original asset, what would you advise them to do first in this current climate?
I would look at their current business, look at where they're at, look at what they do, maybe even look at where their main passion lies. Because obviously for me, within my industry, there's so many avenues I could have gone down. But for me, my passion is skin. So I took what I was most passionate about. So I think look at what you're most passionate about within what you do. Obviously, a little bit like yourself, Laura, because obviously you raise so much finance through social media, and then you're sort of showing people how they can do that. I think that is exactly what I'm trying to say. So take your passion where you've had a lot of success and maybe share that content. I think online courses are massive now, and I know it is, everybody's doing it, but if yours is really, really good and got a lot of value to give, I would really try and get an online workshop, an online course, something like that where your expertise really lies, because then you're going to come across like you know what you're doing, and people are going to see that. Whereas if you're just trying to clutch at straws, then people are just going to think, do they know what they're talking about? So I think... And
podcast. You've got a podcast.
Of course, podcasting. yeah, absolutely. I'm a big fan of the podcasting. Get your podcast channel. So that's another avenue that people, you've got to build yourself as an expert within your industry, haven't you? And I think if you can use Facebook groups, videos, podcasts, obviously, get yourself a podcast, get talking about what it is that you do, and make it interesting so people want to listen to it. So I think that if you can then share your knowledge, share some of your valuable content that, even just stuff that you've kind of, I know we never feel like we're an expert. We always think, well, why do people want to listen to me? It's true though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You think you've got nothing of value to give, but then other people tune in and they want to listen to it. And I think if you've actually got results from it and you can evidence those results, you are an expert at what you do, and don't let anyone tell you different. So shout about it, shout about what you're good at. And especially now is the time, because everybody's online, everybody's at home, or a lot of people are at home, they've got time on their hands, especially in my industry, maybe recruit some of them, they might have a career change. So not doing anything else, are we? So, but yeah, no, shout about what you're good at, get it out there, get it online. And if you can, try and create a workshop, try and, get it sold to the many, get some Facebook ads done. So I think just shout about what you're good at, become an expert in your field, in your industry, and then start to generate a revenue through being an expert, whether it is, like you say, monetizing your podcasts, monetizing your videos on YouTube, getting a Facebook group. There's so many different avenues, and I'll happily, if anybody wants to connect with me, I'm happy to, advise on a more specific basis, because obviously I know I have talked about salons, but at the end of the day, business is business, isn't it? So
it is, 100%.
Relate it all.
Well, we'll put all your details below, obviously. I know this is live video. Obviously, the podcast will be coming out in a couple of weeks. So on their show notes, we'll put a lot of your details on there so they can get in contact with you.
Yeah.
But I would, thank you. I think you've given people great value today. And I think especially in the current situation, I think people need some positivity in how they can use other streams of income to obviously sustain and grow. So thank you so much, Louisa. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having me, and I hope I've given some content. I know it has. There's that much I could talk about. I'm trying to condense it. I can't chat for England, so I'm trying hard to shush.
Well, thank you very much.
No worries.
See you later, guys.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.